republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Stoops.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Sukasar. Lucas W.
Here.
All right, non-agenda items from sidelines. I had none. Comments from city administration. Donna?
December 1st taxes go out. And that's all I have.
Back to the chief.
Yeah, I've got 2 receipts there that I'd like to get voted on and approved.
What we're doing is moving these up from new business 6 and 7 because he needs to go do something. So
I apologize, I got to take off early here.
you have in your packet.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be the last 2, at least it's in my packet, the last 2. These 2 receipts are annual maintenance that gets done in the vehicles, our oil changes, greasing, things like that. Happens twice a year to our trucks. And these are the 2 big ones, both of our big engines, so.
Can I get a motion to approve Apollo fire apparatus repair for $924.40?
I make the motion.
Or
Parker.
support?
Stoops.
Support.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar. Yes. Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
All right, now I need a motion. Go ahead.
Oh, did you do both?
I'm doing the second one. I need a motion for this other expense, $783.73 also to Apollo.
I'll make that motion. Support.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar. Yes. Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Thank you.
What else
And
do
then,
you have?
under budget amendments, we were going to amend that, grant money, is that correct? Okay.
Okay,
So we received
And the
the.
radio one. That we never got under there.
well, we can handle it. Yep.
Questions on it?
No, I'll just tell them it's a housekeeping
We
thing.
never did the radio.
We can handle it. All right.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and thank you for all the hard work over the last 3 days. You can
Since
tell-
Sunday night at 9 p.m., Memphis Fire Department handled a total of 23 calls from 9 p.m. Sunday to basically today. at noon.
Some of them were relatively serious, right?
Yeah, we had a few down wires on some actual houses and stuff like that.
No one hurt?
Nope.
That's good news. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have no other city administrators here. Moving on, American Legal Publishing, code books. With us, we have Ruth Fazio with American Legal Publishing, and you want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
go
should
ahead.
I?
Yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we'd like to, I know you've had a meeting with 3 of us, but.
Yes, I was gonna
yeah.
say, first of all, I wanna thank you for having me here, to be able to, give you a brief introduction to our proposal, and most importantly, to answer any of your questions. I'm here, as I said, I'm Ruth Fazio with American Legal Publishing. I'm here in connection with a proposal that we have before the city to codify, or rather recodify its ordinances. And American Legal has been in Michigan publishing municipal codes for 40 years, more than 40 years. So we have a lot of experience. We've published more than 100 codes in the state for cities, villages, and townships. We have a lot of experience working with Michigan municipal law. And very briefly, for those of you who may not be familiar with codification, what I mean by that is we organize your general and permanent legislation by subject matter into a book like this. This is for the city of St. John's, Michigan, and it has standard tab dividers like for administration, public works, your utilities, streets, sewers, that kind of thing, the traffic code, general regulations, if you regulate animals or nuisances, business regulations, general offenses, the criminal code, and of course land usage, your zoning, subdivision regulations, etc. So it's all organized in a book from the very general, like a part administration, with a specific chapter, say, on the mayor or on the city board. and it's comprised of all of your ordinances, your latest ordinance on the subject. So that everything between these two covers is your current law on general and permanent subjects. And I'll just pass it around so you can take a look at St. John's. But more than organizing your ordinances, just as importantly, one of our staff attorneys will review the ordinances to see over the years, there are different councils, different people on council. Over the years, you may have passed ordinances that conflict with each other, or you may be in conflict with state law. You might have passed an ordinance, 20 years ago, and there's been state law since then that conflicts with it. And so we also perform a legal review of your ordinances, and we deliver it in writing for your review. And I'll also pass around a sample legal review, just so you can have an idea of the kind of detail that we go into. So at the end, when you have this code, you can be confident that it is consistent and uniform, and it's all the law you need, and no duplication or unnecessary extraneous law that you don't. It's all, of course, indexed and table of contents for ease of locating what you're looking for. But nowadays, of course, we also would publish it electronically, so we'd also send you a copy on disk in word processing, either MS Word or WordPerfect. And we also publish on the internet, say at the city's website. The code would be available there in a search engine for the public to access, so that if they wanted to see the latest animal ordinance, they can just go right online, do a very quick search. It's an excellent search engine. I think I already sent a demo of this, but here's an extra one if anyone wants to. This demonstrates the search engine and how user-friendly it is. But I would also urge you to go to our website, which should be in that literature somewhere. When you get to our website, you go to library, and you can see all the Michigan codes that we host online. You can click on any of them, search them, and see what your code would look like and how the search engine works. I included a summary of our proposal so that you can take a look at it. Sorry, I'm not sick, I just have something. Anyway, you can look at it. I did have an opportunity, as I said, to come here previously and meet with the mayor and Ms. Jansen and Mr. Wilson to look at your legislation. So I was able to determine a pretty good estimate of the page count.
Now, I see also it says that there's extra pages, it's
Yes.
$18 a page.
Right,
And
or
if there's
fewer.
fewer, it
Right.
takes $18 per
Right.
page off.
I mean, what I do is I try to make the best estimate I can, and I have been doing this for over 30 years, so I'm pretty accurate.
Are
My-
you usually within 10%?
I would say, yeah, I would say 10%, but I want to emphasize too, that you can still control the page count. Like if it seems to be getting really way over, which I don't see
We
how.
just say throw that one away.
What we would do is, not so much, okay, but let's say you've got some internal matters, like personnel policies and procedures. We might say, why don't we adopt that by reference in the code?
Right.
Rather than have the 30 pages and you're paying for the 30 pages. So we
Right.
can look at various ordinances that you don't have to necessarily codify in full.
Okay.
And you can make that decision. So I mean, we keep the page count as close to what we estimate as you want it.
One of the things to consider here is it's at the bottom, at the very last that she wrote. The terms to be paid would be 10% upon acceptance of this agreement. And then 40%
Yeah, I
at the
wrote
beginning
45, I
of,
wrote my, I
the 40% at the beginning of fiscal year 2014, and then the remaining 50% at the beginning of fiscal year 2015.
And this was because of the discussions we had. That's
Right.
not our normal payment scheme.
And you did that out of the, I mean, that was not typical.
No.
But because we hadn't budgeted for it this year, it wouldn't cost us, we can budget for it the next 2 years, and this is just a minimal 10%
Right.
that we'd be paying up front to get them started.
Yeah, we could get started and until, you wouldn't have another payment until July.
And it would take you that long, really, before you really start getting in depth
Right.
into the
Right.
code.
I'm glad you brought that up as
Yeah,
far
I'd
as.
just like to say to the new members, what we're doing, this is the old code
Right.
you had there. And this has been in force for, I don't know, I've been on here 20,
Yeah, I think this
17
is
years.
20 years old.
And then it's been updated with pulling pages out and adding as we add ordinances.
So
So
they're
what-
supposed to be,
Yeah.
they're in the back, all the ones
Yes.
that need to be replaced.
But you know, it's also in the, I mean,
Yeah.
most things now are 8.5 by 11, the
So
page.
what-
That's
So
how you
what-
got it, that's exactly.
Yeah, so what we'll be doing is redoing that book in similar to this.
Yeah, it would look more, it would
Yeah.
look more like this.
And you wouldn't be wondering, because, I mean, those of us who've been using our code books that we have, and then those of you that have the new code books, you wouldn't be wondering if that page was ever supposed to be replaced and wasn't? Or, I mean, we'll know that everybody has,
years.
everybody has an up-to-date book. We have an electronic book that we can all search easily and quickly online,
And also, you'll know that there isn't some old legislation, as I said, that since it was published, the state maybe has, you know, is in conflict.
right,
with
or
it.
federal
Or
conflict,
federal law,
and-
so you
and-
know that you're up to the minute.
Yeah, and it's really important, I believe, that we go ahead and get this going and do this.
But as far as the payment goes, yes, normally it's 40% down for us to get started. But the mayor mentioned that he would rather get started right away and just put a minimal down because it hasn't been budgeted for yet. So I went back to my office and they agreed. They
And
said,
graciously.
I said, what's the least they can put? So he said 10%. So we
So-
could put 10% down and then the next, I think, yeah, 45% then, during budget year 2014.
And then the
And
45
then-
at the end.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
So you're
Um,
talking 950,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And what we're gonna
9,500.
do, what we plan to do,
10%.
the 950 down.
Oh, yes,
And what-
950, yes,
What
I'm
we plan
sorry.
to do is, because of this spans across several departments, we'll find the money at different places and bring it in from all the budgets of the different departments somehow.
That's very
Um,
standard, like for the police regulations, the
Exactly.
police can kick in for the administrative part. you can-
Right.
So that's very standard to
So we'll
spread it
find
over.
this 10% and we'll find out how to budget it into the next 2 years, and it's not gonna hit anyone's budget hard.
And also, as far as the time frame goes, we guarantee, and it's written in our contract, that from the time we receive all the material we need from you, which would be a copy of this code and any legislation enacted after this was last published, that once we receive the material, we guarantee in writing that you will have a draft manuscript within 6 months. And you get the manuscript and also that legal review that's going around. So that within 6 months, you've got a manuscript that you can see and answer any outstanding questions there are. As soon as we get the answers from you and the okay to go ahead, we guarantee that we'll deliver the book within 3 more months. So this doesn't just drag on and on. You'll get the code, you
I
know.
think we may be stuck with it for a month while we review
Oh, yeah.
all the stuff, at least a month, review all the recommendations, because what they do is when they find a problem, they say, okay, this is a problem, we recommend you do this. And this is a problem, we recommend you do this. And I'm thinking we're probably gonna have
Repetitious stuff in there.
10 pages of changes.
Repetition, you'll have conflict. There's always some kind
We'll
of
have
conflict.
a bunch of stuff we need to delete. Well, I mean, I know for a fact in one of our zoning codes, we have a certain use is shown as a primary use, and then later it's shown as only special use. And so, because of the way the law is, we have to allow it as primary use, even if we wanted to only allow it as a special use. So that type of stuff
And the other
is
thing
in
we can
conflict
do
with
is-
itself.
We'll review all your fees and fines and things and recommend you raise, increase them. So it can also generate revenue for the city.
Yeah, we don't,
Well, sometimes we, you
it's
know.
not a good thing.
Well, I was editing one Michigan code, an old one where like the bicycle license was 25 cents. I mean, it went way back to, the 40s, so it depends how far back it goes. But at least you can see what all your fees are and see if they're in line with today's.
Is that
Right.
25 books then you're gonna get?
As many as you want. I mean,
Up
I
to
think we
25.
said
Up
up,
to 25?
we
I don't
said-
think we'd need any more than
No, we
25. I think that's
said
the
up to
number we
25,
said.
and that's why she put the 25.
Yeah.
But if
But
we need a
I-
30, she'd give us 30.
Yeah.
For the first time.
But I would say that I would urge you not to have a lot of books, because as the mayor mentioned, what happens is they don't all get updated. When we, every year, we send you new pages, you're supposed to take out the old
Right.
page 29, put a
It
new.
doesn't happen.
Half the people do, half don't, and I get calls every day saying, we don't know which are current, can you send us, can you reprint the code and send us new copies?
Oh.
So I would say you want the number of copies that you can kind of keep track of and that you know they're all gonna be updated
Right.
simultaneously. Because once it's on the internet, I have found that more and more of our clients, they're all lowering the number of print copies.
I wouldn't even use a book if it was on the internet.
They're all telling me that they only go to the internet.
Yeah.
Some of them say, don't even send it. We
He's
can
the
come
only,
and
he's
get
the only
it."
one who needs a piece of
This
paper.
old man won't go do it.
Well, we always tell you,
So
should
we
have
have
one.
the hard copy right now, cause like, most of us don't have internet right this moment.
Right.
Yeah, right, that's the, oh, but you know,
Yeah.
that's it, well, you don't, if you don't have electricity.
Yeah.
But one of the things we do
Is the disc.
is when, yes, not only is it on the internet, but you also get this on disk. So
Yeah, what-
you install it in your computer and you can it's in the search engine.
What are the rules, what are the rules on the discs? I mean, like say.
The licensing thing?
Yeah, because the way I see it, if, what we now do is have them sign out a book. If we had extra discs or could make copies of the disc for our council.
I don't think you can make copies of
Okay.
this. I mean, I don't mean that you're not allowed to, I mean, I don't think you can do it.
Okay,
Because I think you need special software to do it.
all right.
So basically, there's a one of these is included, and you can
Okay.
install that here on the internal
How much
computer.
are extra copies?
But then in additional, there's a one-time license fee of $50. But then you never have to pay the fee again, and every time we update the code, we send you a new disc.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's, and that's
That
a
sounds
license fee that has nothing to do with us, it has to do with the company
Right,
that
exactly.
creates this, it's proprietary. So it's a one-time license fee.
All right.
But then you get all the updates every time.
Does anybody have any more questions for him?
How long does the updating of the codes continue on?
It's an annual, what it is an annual, right now, we pay,
Yeah, I have this
how
on
much do we
here,
pay now?
Well, we do it every few years.
You can
Every
see
year
here on the
goes down.
second
How much is it
page.
every couple years?
where we have
We pay around $1,000.
We
four,
pay-
Roman numeral 4B, where we say supplement service,
And we get all the papers,
It's
they just stick in the back.
$18 a page.
Every few years, we pay currently about $1,000. You know, to do,
Depending on how
to
many
get those
ordinances.
pages that are all stuck in the back there and not put in the book. We think that the fee should be lower using their service. The fee for the annual online search and everything's about $500 at this time, $495, is that correct?
Yeah.
So
But the
that,
first year is at no cost,
and
so that you
when
can
does the
try
first
it
year
out.
start?
After when you have when it's
Once
on.
we've done everything,
Once
so
you've done
the first year
everything.
won't even start for 9 months, at
Right,
least,
at
probably.
least, that'd be probably a year.
Probably a year.
Yeah, and then you get the whole first year for free, so then you can see how useful it is and how much you like it. So it's.
And any new ordinances after that's included in that fee, if we
No,
send them over to you?
The
No.
electronic fee,
Well,
it's
the
still
new- the-
$18 a page. right?
Well,
Okay,
the new ordinances are $18 a page for the editing and $1.95 for the searchable.
Okay.
okay.
The other thing we do too, but I mean, it all depends on what your personal needs are for this city, is we will update the internet version just on an ongoing basis. So that if you find that people really go to the internet and really like it, and you want the code up all the time, there's no additional charge. It's our normal editing charge. We don't charge an additional amount for that automatic.
Now, also, if we adopt something and change the page and send it to you, you do a legal review
No, we don't.
of that
no,
$18 fee?
The legal review we would, in terms of comparing it with it, that's something that we would do as a separate
Okay.
service
I
every
just
several.
didn't know if if we sent you a page and you got the page and looked at it and you could tell we had totally broken the law by making law.
Well,
if you guys did a
well-
legal review on that in the
Well, what
process.
we're hoping is that your city attorney,
Well, we do send everything to him.
yeah, I mean, on an ongoing basis at your city, now, let's say
He
for
tells
10
me no all the time.
Here's a question, Dan. Can we get, say we wanna change the code on something, can we call to you to get like,
sample
a couple
legislation,
samples of
millions
things?
of samples. In fact, if you go to our website, like I mentioned, and you go to library,
Yeah.
and go to Michigan, there's one thing called Search All Michigan Codes. So let's say you want a new, barking dog ordinance. You just put barking dogs throughout all of Michigan that we publish more than 100 codes, and it'll show you all the different cities and
Okay.
and you can go to any of them and see.
But we can do that without buying this, right?
Right, you can do it tonight without, but we also provide, like if you called us and said, do you have something on driving while, texting while driving, some
Right.
new thing, we would also send you ordinances, we'll
Okay.
do a search. But that search is available, as I said, right now it is.
All right.
I'm trying to think, there was something else I was gonna, I'll think.
Well, she's been working with us. We were waiting for the new group to get in here, people that can use computers and everything instead of relying on the older people.
Oh, I know, I was gonna say that, let's say that you're not, we're basically up here, once a year we usually call and say, do you have enough ordinances that you wanna update the code now? But let's say you pass some really important, like the new sign ordinances,
Right.
that everyone's waiting for. I mean, even if you're not on a regular you can just call us.
Right.
And say, we just passed the new sign ordinance, we'd like you to codify it and get it online immediately, because everybody's gonna wanna see it.
Right.
So we're sort of at your disposal, you don't have, nothing's set in stone, you don't have to be on a rigid schedule.
Okay.
So I just want you
So
to know.
we can send them over to you, call you, send them
Anytime.
over as we adopt them.
If we
have
adopt
time.
a new page, we can send it to her.
No,
She'll
if
send
I
us-
even just
You'll send us a
email
bill
them
for
to-
$18.
Right, exactly, there's,
Right.
as I said, there's
Actually, it'll be 21 if we have the electronic copy.
no, it'd be $19.95.
20 bucks.
$19.95.
Yeah.
Now, if you know, like sometime in zoning, there's certain things where you know you're gonna be changing it all year long because people are gonna be coming, and there's certain, then you don't wanna send it to us.
Right.
You wanna wait till you think you have the final version
Okay.
and get it to us. And that way you don't pay any extra, and it's a wonderful service because you always have an up-to-date code online.
That's very nice.
I think I included my card in that, so if anyone thinks
can
of
make a
any
decision.
questions
I
later.
think we can make a decision if somebody wants to make a motion that we go ahead with this.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract with American Legal Publishing in the amount of $9,500 and the mayor sign it.
The only thing I'd say is if, there's a one-time charge of the $9.95 to have it on in the search engine. So I
Right.
don't know if you want, the $4.95 is free the first year, but there is the $9.95. I don't know if you want to
Okay.
approve that at the same time, that would make it.
Well, then,
Yeah.
But that wouldn't start till 14, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't start till
So
14.
that would
Maybe
be a
we'll,
budget
we'll,
meeting.
we'll approve that later, if that's okay. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Or we
when-
need to
when
do it
is
now?
that due though?
you see, even if you approved it now as part of the whole thing, you're still only gonna pay the 10% down of the face value, the $950.
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other.
I would say to have it, the whole thing, so that we know that we're gonna be working on that, but it won't change.
Well, then I'll make that motion and adjust it to the base cost of $9,500 plus a $995 code of ordinance one-time conversion fee. That includes the license of it.
Yes, it does. It includes the license.
I would support that revision.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Shall I leave this here so that you can control, if any of you are interested in seeing how the search engine
No,
works?
we can all go online and do it.
Okay.
Take the disc with you.
All right. Anyway, thank you again for having me
Thank
here, and I look forward to working on this project, and I think you'll really be very happy when you get your new code.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep, have a good day.
Thank you.
Moving on, adoption or amendment of the agenda.
There's one amendment and, well, we're only gonna, the other ones I think we just.
Oh, okay, all right.
write them in there,
Go ahead.
It's under new business, it'll be number 8, and it's the planning commission. And it's naming Park Street to Wells Settlement Drive, I think it is. And also, I would draw a line through number 6 and 7 because those already been approved. No further changes, I make a motion that we adopt the agenda as amended.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. All right, moving on, nomination and election of Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to nominate Larry, unless any of the other of you would like to be called 3 or 4 times a day by me.
Larry?
Okay, can I get a motion
I'll
for,
support that.
what, you have to make a
I'll
motion?
make the motion. Second.
All right,
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
All right, next, adoption of parliamentary procedures. Robert's Rules of Order are presently used with amendment allowing miscellaneous items from the mayor and city council be raised under new business. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Approval of depositories for Cindy funds currently using K-Pac State Banks for checking accounts, library loan, and certificate, well, not library loan. Oh, didn't we pay that off?
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
we did.
Okay.
Cross it out.
And certificate deposit, Comerica Bank for municipal investment pool and certificate deposit, Bank of America for water main replacement bond.
I'll make a motion that we approve the banks as stated.
Support.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Next is recommendations for council committees. You have received a a city directory, and in that is page 4, I think it is. It would be from November 2013 till 15. It's a 2-year appointment to committees. Now, we can change these at any time too, so if anybody's not happy with their position, once we get going, we can always make some adjustments. So, advisory would be William Zukas as head of advisory with Davis and Stoops. Public Works Department would be Larry Wilson with Parker and Bill Zukas.
I'm gonna separately include them or approve them all?
I think we should do them all together.
Okay, that's fine.
Finance would be, Parker would be in charge as the committee chair with Wilson and Zukas, Robbie Zukas. Fire department would be Robbie Zukas with Wilson and Parker. Library liaison would be Davis. Nuisance would be Stoops with Zukas, Bill and Davis. And police department would be headed up by Frank Davis with Roberta Zukas and Scott Stoops.
I'll make a motion that we approved all the departments as stated by the mayor.
Support.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
All right, next is appointment of street administrator, Barton Dunsmore.
I make a motion that we approve Bart Dunsmore, street administrator.
Support.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Appointment of purchasing agent, finance officer, budget officer, and Freedom of Information Act coordinator, currently city clerk, treasurer Donna Jensen's, purchasing agent required by charter, finance officer and budget officer required by accounting and budgeting statutes, FOIA coordinator required by Michigan state law.
I'll make a motion that we appoint city clerk treasurer Jensen in the departments as stated.
Support.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Determination of planning commission council representation. I had wanted Frank Davis to be in this position.
Make a motion to appoint Frank Davis for that as a planning commission council representation.
Support.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. Termination of building commission composition. Currently 2 members of city council with building, electrical, and plumbing inspector serve. Who's on this?
The only commission is right here on the
First page?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Our building inspector is Brian Bailey. Electrical inspector Paul Rajkovic, and plumbing inspector Timothy Kelly, with Bill Zukas and Roberta Zukas on the board.
I make a motion that we appoint to the board as the building commission as stated by the mayor.
Support.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Appointment of Parks and Rec Director Teresa Romack.
Make a motion to be appoint Teresa Romack as Parks and Recreation Director.
Support.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser.
Yes.
Appointment of Cable Commission representatives, currently Anita Levinsky and Matt Levinsky as alternative, with Roberta Zukas as council representative.
I'll make a motion that we appoint to the cable commission representatives as Thursday.
Support.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W.
CBA.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, it's,
All right,
use microdata.
appoint zoning board of appeals council representation. And that's Larry Wilson.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Larry Wilson to the ZBA.
Support.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Appointment of health officer Barton Dunsmore.
Make a motion to appoint Larry Stanmore as health officer.
Support.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes. Appointment of administrative official for the planning commission, Bart Dunsmore again.
I make a motion that we appoint Larry Stanmore as the administrative official of the planning commission.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
The appointment of emergency services coordinator, Todd Kenya.
Make a motion that the Todd Kane be appointed as emergency service coordinator.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. Publication of city's legal notices, currently the Voice is used for legals, and the Macomb Daily and Times Herald and the Voice are used for classifieds.
Make a motion that we appoint the newspapers as stated.
Support.
Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
All right, hopefully you've all had a chance to go over the regular meeting minutes of November 5th, 2013. If those of you who are here have no changes, I'd entertain a motion to accept those and place on file.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
Support.
Zukas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zuckerser.
Yes.
All right. Our communications, there were none, unfinished business, there was none. New business, planning commission, in reference to the appointment of Eric Schneider. Actually, it doesn't say here, but I wanted to, Judy Schick wanted to step down from the planning commission, so we need to get a motion to have her removed from the planning commission and Eric Schneider put in her place for the term to expire July 31st, 2014. Can I get that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, you want it written out or
Just, that's fine.
just like that?
You get
Support.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson, Zuckerser,
Yes.
Zukas W.
Yes.
All right, regular meeting minutes for the city of Memphis need to be set for 2014. Is there anything odd in here?
I don't think so, I think it's standard.
Well, you never know, every now and then you come up on something that we have to adjust a date.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the memo with all the dates on it. It's first and third, or Yeah, first and third Tuesday of every month. So I need a motion to, set those dates.
I'll make that motion, we accept those dates.
Fourth.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Pass this down. It doesn't have it. Who you want? Oh, a directory? Yeah, I've got an extra one at home, does it have mine?
I don't have one right now. I can get you one after.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You can use mine.
Pass that down, Ted. You can have that one, I've got another one with that. Okay.
Okay, Stoops, we're voting on the dates for the
Oh,
council
yes.
meetings.
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Next is a invoice for the police department from Michigan Police Equipment. Looks like ammunition.
I'll take some.
That was for their training they needed that.
Oh, they went out and did the
And
training.
it was budgeted, she told me.
All right, so it's $533 to Michigan Police Equipment.
I'll make a motion we allow the police department to pay this invoice for $533.
Is that, still one question on that? Is there something in there, can't find my slip. Okay, I thought it was for a junk. This is for a junk.
No, there is 12 gauge.
Yeah, it's a shotgun shell.
Well,
Slug.
Did he answer? Did they answer his question?
Yeah.
Slopes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis,
yes,
Parker.
Yes.
This next is a budget amendment to accept the grant. Actually, it's two grants, right?
No, one was what was left over to the radios from last year that they wanted to
Okay.
go into theirs.
All right.
The other one's a grant.
Okay, it's just basic house cleaning. We do have to do this from time to time. A lot of times it's a shell game how we have to move our money around. So that's all this is. Can I get a motion to make these?
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget amendment number 4 for the fire department.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis,
yes,
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Next is lot split. This is the land that the city has traded for basically, that's above the DPW yard where they're moving the house from north of town. They're gonna be moving to. This is the lot that when I was looking for a place to put the salt bin, I found this parcel, found out we had it. Wanted to move the salt bin up there, found out it was gonna cost about $13,000 to put access so that a truck could get up there and dump salt. And Bart told me he was never gonna use it. He needed a new building, and we got a new building out of the whole deal.
Yeah,
And
it's, by the way, it's framed in.
is it framed?
Yeah, looks good.
They
Down
put,
there.
they put
Can we go
the
down there and look at it? Mike?
roof on it?
No, it's, yeah, the trusses are up. It's
Cause I
all
saw the
framed-
trusses were dropped off.
Yeah, they're all, it's all framed in and they'll be.
Oh, I'm sure he'd like you, yeah.
Putting the siding and stuff on.
Any of you that wants can
Yeah,
go down
party
there. and
down
look
there
at it.
pretty soon.
Yeah, he has the metal already on site to be doing the siding. I think he's supposed to do it tomorrow. So.
This went through the planning commission, I think they approved it.
The planning commission
What I've
approved it.
been told, so-
Unfortunately, I was told their minutes weren't gonna get to us.
Yeah.
They aren't done yet, but the planning commission did recommend it, and you know a lot about it too as well. If anybody has any questions, we can ask. This is our assessor. For those of you who don't know, our city assessor, Jamie Barra, Jason Parker, Red, and Scott Stoops is second from the end down there, the new council member. So does anybody have any questions on this? Can I get a motion to approve this split?
I'll make a motion to approve the lot split.
I'll support it.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis,
yes,
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. Next is planning commission concerning Park Drive.
Mr. Cairns?
Mr. Tom Cairns came before the planning commission and requested that we acknowledge the original founders of Memphis, the Wells family, somehow by naming either the park extension that we're working on with the nature trail and everything after the Wells family, or the road that goes into that park after the Wells family.
it's currently Park Street.
It's
right?
currently Park Street and no one lives on it. It wouldn't mess with anybody's address to rename it. A lot of people don't even know it's there.
A lot of people don't know his name, but.
Don't know its name. There's no
I didn't
sign.
know there was an-
Bart said that if this body chose to vote and rename, he would actually put a sign up there that says Wells Settlement. And then, once we were able to, get the nature trail in there, call it the James Wells Nature Trail, and have, the Historical Society had mentioned putting a trailhead sign that showed the trail and told some history of the Wells family right at the head of the trail.
Yeah, Tom, did you, I think I did discuss briefly with you, were you thinking the area that would just clear out back there, naming that, after Wells as well?
The Wells settlement, yes, we were thinking, when we made our proposal, we were looking at the area identified as the picnic area on there, which is.
You know, the one where we cleared out the concrete.
And our proposal was to name that the Wells Settlement Park.
Okay.
That's because this is what we saw on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then some way to get back to the Wells Settlement Park would be either a road or a trail or a path, and naming that the James Wells Road or path or trail.
You mean the trail that went back or the road that goes back?
Well, we don't know whether it's gonna be a road or a trail or
Well,
a
we have a
path.
road, we have a road
The
there now.
road is already there. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes all the way back, actually, the road shows that it goes
Yeah,
back
I see
across
it
the
now.
river even.
Well, we were very flexible in our proposal because Eric mentioned that it was still being talked about whether the road was gonna be closed.
Oh,
Or, you know, and only go part way back.
yeah.
So we were very flexible. and
Well,
said,
we got it kind of closed now because we don't want any more concrete up
Yeah,
back
right.
there.
Right.
Now, it's still got the
I was-
burn pile, which we hope someday to eliminate.
I was back there earlier today and somebody has, thrown a bunch of rotten pumpkins back there, like it's a compost pile, and I really.
Where are they baiting?
What?
They throw pumpkins out there too to bait.
Oh, is that what they're doing? It's in the.
I don't know, but
It's
I'm
in the,
just
it's in the
saying.
burn
Well,
pile,
if you-
and I
Oh,
mean,
it's
they can't really shoot deer back there.
No, I didn't know exactly where you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
they've thrown a bunch, there's about 5 or 6 pumpkins in the burn pile, and then, I saw 2 big ones that were thrown in the second culvert area that Bart had put in. So, there's still people, you know, I'm really wanting, maybe we can talk about this later, but I'm really wanting to, discontinue the public's use of that burn pile, even if we continue to use it as a city until spring and we burn it again. Having the public dump back there unsupervised is not a good thing. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe we need to do something about that, or I was told by the owner of the property on the north end of town that I was hoping would give us some land. Absolutely not. So that option is off the table, so.
What happened to the, talking about putting it out by the lagoons behind the?
That's what he was just saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
that's,
one
the
there.
property owner said
He
no.
said no?
He said
Yeah,
no.
he said no.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I was.
Not even buying either?
No, yeah, I was very saddened, by his, choice, but he was just like, no, he doesn't. And part of the problem is he's been down to see the burn pile. He's been down to see that there were chairs and furniture and, you know, they're gonna be going across his property unsupervised and throwing stuff back on his property. I don't think any of us would say yes.
Is he still gonna let us have access down there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have an easement, we have an easement
That- that
to.
one's
No,
a
I-
choice
no,
of
just-
that.
He
Yeah.
says no one thing, you know, change his mind.
Well,
Right,
Yeah.
and I told him there's something called eminent domain as well, but he didn't like to hear that.
'Cause I enjoy going back there, looking at the geese.
Yeah, oh yeah. He doesn't want, I mean, you see the number of people that are going to our burn pile, the fact that they're not following the rules. You know, and I've always thought it's the 1 or 2 that don't follow the rules that ruin it for all of us. But those 2 or 3 people, whoever they might be, and who knows who they might be, that aren't following the rules, that are throwing furniture and, plastic bags and
Drywall.
yeah, all kinds of stuff that doesn't burn. I mean, even grass clippings don't burn. It's not a compost pile.
Well,
So
that issue.
we definitely need to figure out an option and a solution to that problem. And I think we've sent it to advisory before to
Well, I
try to
think,
figure it out. Have we?
No, I think you have the DPW looking at it.
Okay, the DPW is looking into
You
it.
know what, let's send it to the advisory committee, I'd like to look into that myself.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Something on that.
But just make sure
Should
you
we,
keep.
we should be able to come up with something.
Yeah, well,
But what we're talking about right now is renaming that park drive.
Yeah.
Now, or he had talked about like renaming part of the park or because right now it's not a park. We could rename the burn pile if we wanted to, but we need to acknowledge these original settlers that settled this area, how they settled it, the fact that they, you know, when they were away from everybody. There was nobody near here, right, at the time.
Right, yeah.
And I'm okay with renaming Park Drive to Wells Settlement Drive. And putting actually Bart said he would put a sign out there immediately that says Wells Settlement Drive. And then once we get the nature trail in, and so the entire road from M19 on will be Wells Settlement Drive. Because it is the same road that goes back through there. It's not gonna be two different names through there, if this body votes to do that. And then once we get the nature trail in, we can name that the James Wells Nature Trail and have you guys put that sign up. That would be fantastic.
Is there any, Wells descendants in Memphis?
No.
No?
There is.
I think I have some information. You know, our house was one of the houses that was built a long time ago. The first house burnt down, but it's been in the Doty family for years and years. But there's also Wells and there's also Rex, which is mayor of Richmond is Rex, and I have I think some of you have seen it.
Headstone?
I have a headstone that has the family of Rex. Two kids died. I think it was back in 1852. And also some of the documents you have also mentions the Wills family, and because I think they had a mill back in there, and I don't know if it was Sage Creek or Bell River, but so we have information.
That's not too long after
Well,
the
there's a bunch of wells down the
1835.
cemetery.
Pardon?
Bunch of wells down the cemetery.
So anyway,
Stones.
I have something on that, but anyway, I certainly don't have any problem
So
naming this. So
does anybody have any questions? If you wish, I'll entertain a motion to rename Park Drive Wells Settlement Drive. And once we get the nature trail in, name it the James Wells Nature Trail.
I'll make a motion to approve as stated by the mayor.
Support it.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukastovey,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Other new business from the mayor. There had been a post showing a photo of a downtown with enhanced parking. And they just changed the laws in October for state highways, that state highways can have angled parking on them now, with approval of the DOT. Should it be the pleasure of this committee, or this group, I would like to have permission to put together a proposal to have angled parking on one side of Main Street in downtown. It would basically almost double the parking that we have in our downtown area, and I think it would be have a significant impact on our businesses to have available more parking.
I have no problem with pursuing it and looking at it. Only thing I do have a caution on is when you're, I think, what's the speed limit through there, 30 or 35?
5.
And when you're parked next to a Suburban car, you can't see. So I think we kind of look at the risk factor a little bit. We should see if there's enough room to back out safely, or maybe the speed limit could be lowered. I don't think you can do that.
Well, on the state highway, here's the problem also, because I had requested, or I had looked into the possibility of lowering the speed limit on Main Street, just so people would slow down and see the businesses and maybe stop. You can request the state of Michigan DOT study your speed limit.
Okay.
They may come back and raise it, because their whole purpose is to keep traffic flowing freely on state highways. That's the focus of what they're doing.
Mhm.
What we have to do is somehow weigh risk factors such as accidents and things like that with the economic impact that it might have, and find out, is it worth it economically? Is the risk worth having, the economic, impact that we'll have on our
Yeah,
downtown. So, I mean, all of it's gonna come into play. I'm going to, if you guys want to pursue this, I would get, Macomb County Planning involved. And,
I have no problem, I have no problem with you pursuing it, I just would, the only concern I have is a safety issue. And I park next to Suburbans, and I know when I back out, I was very cautious, even at a.
that's why
even
I
at a-
drive a Suburban instead of parking next to
Yeah,
it.
cause there's Suburban you can see, but I'm thinking you can't see, when you're in a car, and you're backing out on Main Street, and it's going 35 miles or whatever the speed limit is, through there. It could be somewhat risky, but I think definitely we should look at it, cause I think you do need more parking. So I think we should look at it, but be very concerned about the safety issue.
And, you know,
Somebody's gonna come to
maybe
this.
also, well, the other thing is, we need a more cohesive downtown parking plan. We have a lot of gravel areas behind the businesses that could be utilized if they were properly, like, designed, paved, and maintained. Now, I did find out that the Downtown Development Authority of Almont had gotten a grant that parked, or paved and designed and paved parking behind all their downtown businesses. All their businesses are empty. It's behind 9 empty buildings, is what I was told today.
But I haven't been through Elmont for long, but it used to be kind of busy through there, but it's
Yeah.
not anymore.
It's not anymore, and they have almost twice the number of cars going through their town that go through ours. And I had a long talk with the gentleman today about it, and you know, it just makes you know how good that this city's doing. When you see a town like Elmont that should be thriving, that is not.
They just got their grocery store back.
They
Yeah,
start-
yeah,
just
and
got a
that's
grocery
Mike,
store
Mike
back,
Vink here,
right.
yeah,
That's amazing, because the school there has grown by leaps and bounds.
yes. And, well, and a lot of it's reputation, you know, I've many times fought the fact that, when I became mayor, we did have a reputation, unfortunately, that was an untrue reputation, that this city council wouldn't let anything come into town. I mean, it was totally false, and, the Facebook group that you guys are also on was created just to fight that misinformation that was going around. There was so much misinformation saying that this group, you know, oh, you can't do anything in Memphis. Well, now it's exactly the opposite. I hear that, well, you know, Memphis is a good place to put a business. And it's true, if you look at it, from what I understand, one of our last buildings in town, that's empty is sold recently. And by spring, we'll have a business in it.
Which one?
So,
Penalty box.
the penalty box.
Really?
So we're doing really well, you know.
Anyway, back to your issue, I think you should look at it. but
Okay.
we
You're
just
going
look-
back to being a bar?
But yeah,
Yep.
but we'll be careful, make sure that we got all the.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do anything that couldn't be undone, because just go through Armada, have you been through Armada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be, that's treacherous and stop and go.
Well, no matter
You can
what,
be
backing out is not as safe as pulling out of a parallel parking space. That's why for so long it was totally illegal to put, or not anything but parallel parking on a state highway. They just changed the law because, you know, they're starting to see that these downtowns, sometimes the economic impact outweighs the fact that, okay, it's hard to get out of here, and it might slow down traffic a little bit. But the other thing that it did, or I saw in the photo, was painted parking spaces. Even if we can't get angled parking, the no parking zones should be clearly delineated with paint all the way across them. Each parking space should be lined out so we know exactly how many parking spaces we have, and we can fit as many cars as we can as long as people stay within their lines. Where our handicap parking is clearly marked instead of just with a little sign with blue lines and blue curbs, so that anybody who is handicapped or needs extra, you know, anybody has a disability of any type can park in those spaces. So we need to be more proactive. A little paint doesn't cost hardly anything, and if we can get them to approve us putting down what's called enhanced parking, I think it would be a fantastic thing. So, I don't know what I need to get from you guys to just say, go ahead and start putting this
I would just-
proposal together.
I just say go ahead. you know.
But the last thing I would wanna do is spend my time putting a proposal together and then, you know, we really didn't want you to do that. So I guess all of you, you know, tell me, should I do it? You say yes?
I say yes, but with the caution that we make sure that, you know, that it's as safe as possible.
Right.
We should look at it.
Robbie, what do you think?
I think no, but you can still,
No?
you can investigate it.
Okay,
Say look at it,
yeah.
definitely.
Go for it.
So what maybe we should do is send it to the planning, would it go to the planning commission, you think? Is that it would-
Planning commission is just a recommender, a body that would recommend, but
Yeah, well, yeah. There's no committee. You know what, I'll take this and I'll put together a graphic of the plan. I'll get a little proposal together, maybe 2 or 3 pages, and I'll come back to this body with that. Next, you know, we've got new people on the council, welcome, and as part of that, I would suggest, it's not mandatory, but that any committees get together, have an organizational, just sit down, you know, get to know each other, get to know what the committee does, type of meeting with everybody. When I became mayor, I started having started having department head meetings, and that hadn't been done, and it's amazing what you do when you sit down and you just sit down to talk, say, okay, what's going on? So, I'd like to make that recommendation to you guys, and other than that, like I said, welcome. Thank you very much for running for office. It's not that easy to get people involved in this small community sometimes, and it's good to see new blood, so, that's all I have. Do you have anything, Larry?
Yeah, welcome, and I'm glad to see young people, because one man on here is pretty old, maybe another one. And I'm glad to see young people.
Sit behind me?
Yeah, I'm glad to see young people
Jesus.
taking interest in it, so I'm welcome. And the only other thing I have is, I've been talking to Foster Oil over the last couple of weeks, and I thought probably they might have something here tonight, but they don't. Their plans are still possibly to break ground yet this year. And so if that's the case, we don't wanna wait till next council meeting, so we may have to call a special meeting to approve it, if they get it here in time, so.
Thanksgiving afternoon, after turkey.
So, yeah, so
hey,
they,
whatever it takes.
yeah.
Lots of stuff next Friday.
But we're running out of time, they were kinda running out of time, and I guess they're, anyway, Dan and I talked to them again today,
Yeah,
so.
right in my house, I'll be cooking.
Yeah, so anyway, we may call a special meeting if needed, and that's all I have.
Robbie?
I have nothing. Welcome to the committee, council.
Jason?
I'd just like to thank everybody for accepting, and I look forward to serving with everyone. Thank you.
Frank?
Well, I'd like to welcome Scott and Jason to the council here, and hopefully it'll be a nice, productive 2 years, for me anyway, with these guys. And last month we had a library board meeting, or it was supposed to be a library board meeting, only 2 people showed up. And they do need one other person on that board, if anybody in town is willing to step up and do 4 meetings a year, they do quarterly. That would be great. And also, I'd like to thank John Pedinato, because he stepped up and did some labor for the city again. He put in new counters in the computer room at the library, new counters, and he laid new pergo flooring in the computer room over there, and it's all
And
nice and updated.
and I was over there, and it looks very good.
Yeah.
That,
So thank you, John Pedinato, for doing more volunteer labor for the city.
Scott, you got anything?
Just thank voters that voted for me, and I will help with what I can.
Bill?
I'm just glad to see all these young guys to help us old guys out, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and
Like Larry down here, you know.
I didn't mention it, but, you know, none of us are here for the fame or the glory or the money.
You see that?
So we are a good group, we work well together. We have an attitude that if somebody doesn't agree with you, it's okay. We're all here, and you can look at the person that you don't agree with and know that they're making their decision because they think it's best for the city, just like you are. So that's the reason we vote. We don't argue, we don't yell at each other. We're a good group of people that get along even when we disagree. So,
At least I can't, no.
so thank you very much for coming. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
How much do we